So good evening, everyone. I apologize for my how can I say speech, my second language.
Yes.
But do I have to tell?
Apologize.
Where
Please
do
not
I
apologize for your second language. Thank you.
do I say where do I live?
Yes, please.
You can say, yeah.
3418 Vista Park Drive. This is in Caldwell, Idaho.
Okay.
83605.
Okay.
Phone number?
No, you're fine. That's fine.
Okay.
You want to restart the time start
Yes,
3 minutes?
we're,
Not
so
yet,
Caleb in
not
the
yet.
back is doing our time. And he will start at the time after you do your name and address. So we will do
Okay.
that.
So is there any way that I can read
Yes, you may.
my
read your-
thoughts?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is about the gender identity and fluidity. Yes. Schools are local control and should not be dictated by federal funding. It's travesty against our children and youth. It's an age inappropriate and it's indoctrination into the occult. It's immoral child exploitation. We have been granted the, I don't know how to say this, but it's about the Constitution. We all have our Constitution and we
Please
should
address the board.
We should read. Yeah, thank you. It's a constitutional right of the parents to raise their children with their own moral values and without the imposition of alternate lifestyles of instruction in educational system. This is an attack on God and the family. The educational system has become a pawn for destroying our children, Christian culture, and the guarantee freedoms in our republic. It will destroy the state, our society, and the nation if we don't stop. And one last thing that I want to say is like, everyone must wake up to this destruction of a family, children, and youth, our Christian culture, and the destruction of the United States of America, our republic, our Constitution, and our freedom. It's kind of a force to us to change it, our society. And we as a family, as a believers, we're not gonna be allowed that. No, in our state, which is Idaho, we are conservatives and we don't want anybody to come here and impose ideas to us, and especially to our children. We are free to raise our children the way that we wanted to do it. No imposition, but no one. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I've stated, please do not applaud. Please, no speaking out. Okay, thank you, Ms. Patricia. Appreciate it. Okay, the next person, Danita Rodriguez, do you live in the Caldwell School District? No. Okay. And then I have Jennifer Courier. Do you live in the Caldwell School District?
No, I do not.
Okay. I have next Tammy Dittenberg. Ma'am, do you live in the Caldwell School District? Okay, please come forward. And if you could please state your name and the city of residence.
My name is Tammy Dittenberg. I live at 2220 Arlington Avenue, Caldwell, Idaho. Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. French, thank you for your time. At the last trustee meeting, a state senator stated that the district trustees lack authority to enact district policy and that only the Idaho State Board of Education possesses that authority. I know you all know better than that. Not only are you authorized, but you have an entire statewide organization to train, advise, and support you in exercising that authority. In 2015, the Idaho School Boards Association adopted a policy nearly identical to the policy being considered here. The policy complies with federal law, executive guidance, and case law on the books, some since the early 1980s. The policy is intended as a model policy for school trustees to adopt. Some of the most politically conservative districts in Idaho, including the Bonneville and Teton districts, adopted nearly identical policies more than 5 years ago. As of today, more districts in the state have adopted the policy than haven't, and no bad thing happened. My understanding of the recommended policy is that after mountains of research and legal review, it is the model policy deemed appropriate for Idaho schools. Promulgation by individual districts serves the purpose of providing guidance to students, educators, staff, and parents on what can and must take place. The policy is designed to protect our young people. Regardless of what one might believe about trustee authority, it is clear that you are here to represent and protect all students, not just the ones with loud parents, not just the ones with conservative parents, not just the ones of means, not just the ones with stable, loving homes, not just the athletes, and not just the straight binary size gender ones, all of them. Seeking after the greater good is not for the faint of heart. It takes courage. And I've appreciated the courage that this board has displayed on a regular basis. I understand the public policymaking process, and it always includes a thorough legal review. I believe this policy has been reviewed by attorneys versed in legal precedent, case law, and with the prudent best interest of district patrons in mind. If parents are concerned their students are not being forthcoming with them, but are discussing their gender struggles with school officials, my suggestion is they get introspective as to why their child is not comfortable disclosing that in their home. We should lead with love, civility, and understanding. It seems the least we can do. Our children and grandchildren do. They are grossly less reactionary and far more understanding of these issues than we are. They get it. I would ask you to follow their lead. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and so the next person that we have is Brittany, is it Gish? If you can please state your name and your address, please.
My name is Brittany Gish, and my address is 3215 South Ohio Avenue in Caldwell.
Okay.
For the record, America is a constitutional republic, not a democracy. So I was very angry and had planned on expressing that anger, but after some more thought and some prayer, I feel a different approach would be more successful. I believe that for the most part, the locals and other Americans believe that by instating these policies, they are truly being loving, kind, accepting, and inclusive. However, as good as your intentions may be, this is not the case. No person can truly become another gender. Yes, they can dress like another gender. They can identify as another gender. They can even get surgery to try and be another gender. But the truth is they will never actually be another gender. So imagine the disappointment and anger when, let's say, a young man whose brain isn't fully developed yet decides he feels very uncomfortable in his body and thinks he was meant to be a girl. And instead of receiving the guidance, counseling, and mental health help he needs, he's told by people he trusts, counselors, teachers, school boards, that yes, they understand and accept that, all in the name of inclusivity. So he begins taking hormones and later gets surgery only to find out his genitals don't actually work like female genitals. And now his hormones are completely out of whack. He's feeling confused and depressed and even worse than he felt before, except now there's no going back because his genitals have been mutilated. This is why we shouldn't support these policies in general. And now I will speak to why we shouldn't allow these particular policies being suggested into our schools. Imagine you are a young female, shy, feeling awkward about your growing body, a body that should be kept innocent and private. And your school has allowed a biological male to undress in the same locker room as you, exposing all his parts to you. How incredibly uncomfortable. And not only that, but how do we gauge? Where do we draw the line? So now boys know if they claim they identify as a girl, they get to dress and undress with the girls, leaving our female children exposed to predators. I'm very unsure of how anyone could think this is a good idea because it is clearly very problematic. Please do not adopt these policies as they are harmful to every child involved.
Thank you, Ms. Gish. Please, I've already said no applause. And we will recess or adjourn if folks, I've stated the protocol. Please follow the protocol. The next person that we have is Kelly McDaniel. And Kelly, do you live in the Caldwell School District? Okay, thank you. Go ahead and come up.
I am new to this, so I.
Okay,
think
state your name and your place and your address, please.
My name is Kelly McDaniel. I live at 4313 Idaho Avenue in Caldwell.
Okay.
Good to go?
Yes.
Okay. So just a few comments on the proposed policy number 3281. There were many comments made by folks prior to me that I will echo. In particular, Brittany Gish, and also our first speaker. I'm sorry, but I can't remember her name. There are some general concerns. First, it's unclear where this policy was initiated and where the language in the policy actually came from. It's concerning that the board has begun to create this policy without parental involvement, especially in light of the fact that there is language within the proposed policy that goes against parental rights. There is also a concern in the community that this policy is being created with personal motivation by one or more board members. We hope this is not the case, but we'll be looking into that. There are many reasons why myself and the community do not support this proposed policy. You have heard some, and I'm sure you will hear more this evening. For myself, I also speak for my husband. He is not able to be here tonight, but we do not want our children being forced to be in a position where they are uncomfortable or where their privacy is violated. And the fact that a person can have male or female genitalia, but have the delusion that they are of the opposite of what they in fact are, raises serious mental health concerns as well as serious safety issues. I would like to suggest that the board create a committee of parents on this topic to aid in the drafting of a proper policy. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and the next person we have is Kayla Dunn. Do you live within the Caldwell School District? Caldwell School District? Okay, all right, thank you. And, okay, thank you. Juliana Jolly, or I'm sorry, is it Juliana Jolly?
Yes.
Okay, if you'd like to come forward, please. Yes, and you live in the Caldwell School District? Okay, okay, so we'll just put you, if we have time, we'll come back to you, okay? Let's see, Dawn Jolly.
I'm a business owner here.
Okay, so we'll come back to you, okay? I have, is it Brizen Festa? Brian? Okay, and sir, do you live within the Caldwell School District?
Yes, I do.
Okay, come on forward, sir. Festa? If you would please state your name and your address.
Brian Festa. My Business address is 5210 Cleveland Boulevard. I live on Flint Drive. Is that sufficient?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am a civil rights and constitutional law attorney. I am the co-founder and vice president of We the Patriots USA, a nonprofit public interest law firm that is now headquartered in Caldwell. We file lawsuits against those enacting policies, mandates, and laws that are unconstitutional. We have lawsuits from New York to California. We are now headquartered, as I said, here in Idaho. And if any of you board members would like more information about my organization, our organization, you can go to wethepatriotsusa.org and find out more how you can support our efforts if you'd like to, or even make a donation. I appreciate the time, sir. Now, here's the main problem that I have with this policy. And I'm here speaking not to you as an attorney. I am here speaking to you as a parent of a student in the Caldwell School District. This policy seeks to present a religious view that is in opposition to my family's religious viewpoints. We teach our children that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, and that God created only two of them, male and female created he them. Okay, that is what we teach our children. But if you have a teacher so much as saying, never mind the bathroom or locker room issue, if you have a teacher so much as saying to another student in the classroom, not my son even, another student, that is a girl, we're going to call that boy by a girl's name and a girl's pronoun. What you are doing is you are now teaching him a religious belief that is in opposition to my own religious beliefs, my family's religious beliefs. Okay? Just as if you said to a student sitting next to my son that Jesus is not the Son of God. That would not be allowed. That is an opposing religious belief. So this is a government-sponsored religion that is being imposed in the classroom. Even if it's not said directly to my son, if it is said in his presence, you are teaching him something that is the opposite of my family's religious beliefs. This policy violates the free exercise of religion clause of the First Amendment, as well as the establishment of religion clause of the First Amendment, and it also violates the free speech clause, not this policy necessarily, but policy number 4105, because you're seeking to further restrict the ability of these people to speak at your meetings. There's a lot of things that are in that policy that violate the First Amendment. So thank you.
Thank you for your input. We appreciate it.
God bless.
Please. Okay, the next person that we have is we have a Linda McConnell. Do you live in the Caldwell School District, Linda? Okay, come on over.
Okay, my name is Linda McConnell. My address is 2200 North Montana Avenue, Caldwell, Idaho, 83605. I was very, very upset when I found out that this was going on. I've raised all my kids through Caldwell. I have lived here since 1970. And it really bothers me that here they can come up with all this junk. We're to teach the children, period. Reading, writing, arithmetic, science, government. That's what you're supposed to be doing. We don't have time for this other foolishness. So I'm looking at it this way. Governor Little today said, oh, we got a whole bunch of surplus money. So he says, oh, well, we'll put a big share toward education. He said education, not all this other stuff. So my view is then, since we've got all that, then let's put in separate bathrooms if you're going to have a problem. We'll put in a new school if you're having a problem. And if that'll take down a little bit of surplus. And furthermore, we can just, otherwise we just close the regular schools and it can be done. It's been done. So that's what I got to say. More likely more, but I can't think right now. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your input. Okay, the next person we have is Nelda Reed. Ms. Reed, do you live within the Caldwell School District? Okay, thank you. Come on up. You state your name and your address?
My name, excuse me, my name is Nelda Reed, 711 East Ustick Road, Caldwell. First of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak, especially considering not every district allows that. I'm a former employee of Caldwell School District. In fact, I was a teacher's aide just right down the hall for kindergarten when this was elementary school. I'm a parent and a grandparent. My children attended Caldwell schools. I have a son who graduated. And I became a counselor. I worked in Valley View School District for 19 years. We've lived in Caldwell for 39 years. And I vote and pay taxes. So I want to take a look at the policy for a minute. First of all, it talks in section 1, definitions 1.1, sexual orientation. It talks about identity, gender identity. As a school counselor, I know that children's identity is transitory. As they grow, they identify with different things at different points in their lives. And I think it's a crime to encourage them to settle in on one thing just because it happens to be the mode of the day. I'd like to look at item 2.2 where it talks about a safe environment. And I'd like to go back to what Brittany Gish said about how is the majority of the girls in the restroom or the locker room, how are they going to feel? Are they going to feel like they're in a safe environment when they encounter someone exposing themselves that does not look like a girl? They're not going to feel safe, and we need to think about their rights as well. Especially when you think about in section 4, school trips, if they're put in a room with that person, that could be very traumatic for that person. And the activities under 3.1 or 3. School activities, I just don't think it's fair for the girls. I know that myself as a girl, if I were trying to turn out for sports and there were males also turning out for those sports, I would just give up. I don't think it's fair to have males compete against females. I want to look at, I was speaking with another person who is here. Oh, time is up. Oh, shucks. Okay.
Thank you.
It's such a complex problem.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. We appreciate your input. Thank you. Okay, and at this time, I would like to, I know that we have 3 kids that want to divide their time up in the 3 minutes. And so if I could ask for Nicolas Mendez, Kelsey Smith, and Ali Pacina to come up and speak, please. And if you just come up and state your name, and we'd like to have you state your name and your address, and then whoever would like to speak first may do so. And you have 3 minutes each, okay?
You said they were splitting.
It will be one right after the other. They have one speech, and so they will do 3 minutes each. They have the ability. These are students of the Caldwell School District, so they are allowed to speak. So please be respectful. I'm sorry, ma'am. First, this will be your first warning, so no more. Okay. Go ahead, if you could state your name and your residence, and then you may speak.
My name is Aileen Piscina Garcia.
All right,
I live,
Hey, have some respect, okay? Many of us, I'm Senator Traker, by the way, and I get robbed of being a parent.
sir,
I'm fighting for you. Calm down.
I know, but you,
Just show respect for all
sir,
opinions that are out there, okay? Please.
okay. To begin, the three of us will be discussing policy 3281 and the importance of having a policy like this in place for the students here in the Caldwell School District. We already clarified what that's about because we've been talking about it for a while now. And what this policy is for is so that a student who is transgender may comfortably use the restroom catered to the gender they identify most with during school hours, and how any student may not be prohibited from attending any school activity based on their gender or identity or sexual orientation. The transitioning student will be allowed to work out a plan with parents and staff to make them as comfortable at school as possible. This planning team will help sort out everything as thoroughly and as fitting as possible. If there is a concern of students not being truthful to, quote, enter whatever restroom at whatever time, that is not the case. Despite the accommodations, every school rule and any consequence for breaking said rule still applies. As a cisgender student, cisgender being the term that refers to an individual that identifies with their gender corresponding with their birth sex, should be treated the same as a transgender student is treated and vice versa. It is always okay to have concerns, especially when regarding the safety of your child, but it is also unfair to ignore the concerns of others, including the children that policy 3281 was written for. It is a policy with the intention of any other, solely to make the school environment as safe, comfortable as possible.
thank you. State your name and the city of your, or
Hold on,
that
can we-
your address.
Madam Chair, can we reset the time?
Yes, we will reset the time. Okay,
I just told them they should probably look at the street name, not the physical location for safety. Is that?
yes, yeah, so just your name and, you know, and the fact that you do live in the school district, so, okay.
My name is Kelsey Smith and I live on Owyhee Lane. Speaking on policy 3281, I believe that opening restroom use to transgender students is imperative to having a nurturing environment for all students. I would like to begin by introducing the term transgender as an umbrella term for everyone who identifies with a different gender than they were assigned at birth. Alongside it, cisgender is a term for people who identify with the gender they were assigned. The Caldwell School District has policies that prevent a student from being harassed or bullied regardless of gender identity. Policy 3200 states directly, all students within the Caldwell School District are entitled to enjoy the rights protected by the federal and state constitutions and laws for persons of their age and maturity in a school setting. Students should exercise these rights reasonably and avoid violating the rights of others. Students who violate the rights of others or violate Caldwell School District policies or rules will be subject to disciplinary measures. This is all students and applies to bullying or harassment that may not even correspond with gender identity. Secondly, accommodations to a transgender student is not special treatment. It is to respect them as people and their identity. Often transgender people are cautious to use the restroom, locker room, dorm rooms, housing, etc. offered to them because of harassment and humiliation while trying to use basic necessities. There are multiple cases of transgender men and women struggling to feel like they can use the bathroom. In an interview conducted by Frontiers, a sociology company that posts their interviews online, they spoke to a trans woman named Maria. She shared one of her most alienating moments. She says, "At the restroom door, the security guard came to me and asked me for my documents. I replied, 'Why?' He said, 'You know why.' I replied, 'I don't know.' So I went to the bathroom with my friend and I suddenly realized that the bathroom was being evacuated. I was alone. He sent a cleaning woman into the bathroom and asked everyone to leave. That was the biggest humiliation I went through in my whole life, and believe me, I've been quite humiliated." This leaves our transgender children, which are very well still a part of our future, feeling they are seen as a threat, and share similar disheartening experience and are even attacked 4 times more than their cisgender counterparts, as told in a study performed by UCLA. Moreover, students are looking to make a more inviting and welcoming place for transgender children. In a study taken from the National Library of Medicine, children ages 14 through 24 were polled on whether or not they were comfortable with transgender-friendly bathrooms. About 8 in 10 students, or 79%, were comfortable, due to concerns for peers facing assault and the matter that bathroom use is very personal and it is an infringement on equality to refuse bathroom use. Speaking as a cisgender student that attends Caldwell High, I feel it is important to value the identity of one another and realize that we are all human. Pushing for bathroom equality is something to me that is imperative to show respect and kindness to my fellow peers. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your input. Okay, and then next we have Nicolas Mendez. So if you just state your name and the fact that you live in the school district, within the school district.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Mendez and I live on Compass Way. I'm a firm believer that all students in not only the Caldwell School District, but across the whole world deserve to be treated with respect, no matter their sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. If a policy like Policy 3281 is not passed, that will be an infringement on the basic human rights of some of Caldwell students. LGBTQ plus students will feel heavily less welcome in the school district if Policy 3281 is not passed. There are very notable statistics in an article by Gender GP that talk about the mental health of transgender people. Research showed a 60% decrease in moderate and severe depression in people who received gender-affirming care. Additionally, there was a 73% decrease in suicidal feelings among transgender youth and non-binary youth if they were shown gender-affirming care. The results amongst Black transgender youth in the US revealed 21% left school due to instances of harassment. The results show that by welcoming LGBTQ plus students and giving them simple rights like all other students, their chances of depression and suicide decrease, and they're more likely to not drop out of school. When you help and support LGBTQ plus students, you get a return via their support and their help. Why would someone want to help and support a place that they are discriminated against? When LGBTQ plus students are shown basic respect, they're more likely to want to go and contribute positively to the place and people that give them said respect. They become more likely to stand up where I'm standing here to help support other students who are getting discriminated against. If this policy is not passed, they will become more likely to show no respect for the school district and its people. They might even feel pushed to harm and hurt the school district, which is something a student should not even be thinking of. A powerful statement I want to share is the struggles that you might not experience yourself do not mean they do not exist. Many of us here identify with the gender that we were assigned at birth or feel attraction to the opposite gender. This might make you feel like LGBTQ rights are not a problem or something you should worry about, but that is far from the case. We should be fighting for the rights of all people, even people that are different from yourself. We as a school district should be fighting for the equality of all students in the Caldwell School District. It is flat out immoral and wrong to be treating some of our students here in Caldwell with such disrespect and inhumanity. Allowing LGBTQ plus students to use a bathroom that fits with their gender, be treated how they want to be treated, and be shown basic respect should not be something I should be here standing fighting for. It should be something that is already established when you learn that they are human just like everyone else. The main point I want to get across is that we need to show kindness and respect to everyone, no matter their differences. A district that chooses to nurture, care for, and look out for its students is a district that will be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your input. Thank you. Okay, next we have. We don't take questions during patron input. Thank you. No, at this time we have Kathy. Sir, there is no dialogue between the audience and the board. So at this time we have Kathy Nelson. Kathy, is there a Kathy? Okay, are you a patron of the Caldwell School District? Do you live within the Caldwell School District? Okay, thank you. Come on up. Okay, if you want to state your name and your address, just street address,
Kathy Nelson.
okay?
I live at 2307 Stringa Lane, Caldwell, Idaho.
Okay,
Just want to say good evening and I oppose 3281. I want to start out by reading Genesis 1:27. And it says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him male and female. So as we can sit here and hear that there was only two genders, that's it. There's no 100, there's no 50, there's no 20, there's only two, which is male and female. And you cannot change that. No matter how hard you try, your DNA will always come back. You're either a male or you're a female. Thank you. Second off, you take God out of schools, this is what happens. So if God can't be in schools, this should not be in schools also.
thank you.
Teaching is for reading, writing, and arithmetic. It is not to sexualize our kids. That is not what our tax dollars are to go for. Another thing, we pay your guys' wage. We voted for you. We can vote you out.
Okay,
And then
we can stop this meeting. I've already asked you folks. And just for the record, we don't get paid.
well,
So
we
there you go. Okay, go ahead.
vote you out. And lastly, I want to read Mark 9:42. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. And I want to tell you something. Everybody is going to answer to God one day. You're not going to escape it in any way. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Okay, I have Gianna Harmon, sixth grade Syringa student. If you would come up, please. You want to state your name and just that you live in Caldwell? Okay,
Hi, my name is Gianna Harmon and I live in Caldwell and I go to Syringa Middle School.
okay, go ahead.
I don't think that it's right for a boy who feels that he's a girl to change in the same room as the girls because it would make us all feel very uncomfortable changing with a boy in the room. And I don't think that they should be allowed in the same bathrooms as the girls because that would make everybody feel very uncomfortable to be using the bathrooms with a boy. That's all.
Okay, thank you for your input. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Next we have a Bill Sperry. Sir, do you live within the Caldwell School District? Okay, come on up, sir.
My name is Bill Sperry and I live on Houston Road in Caldwell. Thank you for the opportunity to express my concerns. And I want to say congratulations. You have done something that we in the Christian community have tried for years to do, and that's to come together with one voice. And you have allowed us that opportunity. Policy 3281 allows students to dictate to educators how they're to be treated based on deeply felt positions that are subject to change from one day to the next. Policy 3281 promotes gender confusion. It is not archaic to expect school boards to promote stability and not confusion. Policy 3281 is based on faulty and or non-existent science. We are failing our children when it comes to STEM education, and adding confusing policies contributes to that failure. Policy 3281 goes against the very Judeo-Christian value system upon which our society is built. The erosion of this system has caused irreparable damage to our students. Mental illness is at an epidemic rates among the youth of this nation, and Caldwell is certainly keeping up with the average. The definition of tyranny is cruel, unreasonable, or arbitrary use of power or control. By adopting this policy, you are arbitrarily exercising power and control over the 90%, and that's a very conservative estimate, of the students and patrons who want nothing to do with this policy. You're opposing the will of a very small minority upon those of us with opposing moral standards. As a member of the Christian faith and as a leader in this community, I have no expectation of your adherence to the principles clearly contained in the pages of the Holy Bible. I do, however, expect and demand strict adherence to the founding documents of this nation. The United States Constitution and its foundational document, the Declaration of Independence, addresses governmental structures and how they are to be held in check by the people whom they govern. I quote the opening lines of the Declaration of the Independence. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your input. Thank you. Okay, and at this time, I would like to call Senator Chris Trinkle, if you may come up, please. You state your name, sir, and your address.
Before my time starts, I want to just address the rules that you guys put forward. For instance, you said you can't criticize employees or anything like that. The Supreme Court ruled back in 1983 that any government public forum, which this is an official forum, anybody can say whatever they want, and that includes, and they specifically said this in the case, criticizing school district employees and their board. So by telling them you can't, you're violating all these people's First Amendment rights.
Sir?
No, that's how it goes. So my name's Chris Trinkle. I live at 2019 Fairview Avenue. First, I want to talk about policy 2520 about the curriculum. I'm hoping it's just some oversight, but in there, according to Idaho law 33-512, one half of the curriculum committee has to be made up by parents, not a quarter. So you guys need to go back and check that. That's Idaho law. And then on top of that as well, you're striking out the part that says that you're not legally responsible for providing the materials and stuff like that. I like to point out also 33-512 section 3, you are legally to provide materials to the school children and the school boards. So why you guys are striking that out, I don't know, but you are legally responsible for it. It's Idaho statute. Now, to get on to the exciting part of 3280, I like to discuss, last time I came here as a parent, but I don't get afforded that right because people like to attack me and use my official position instead. So I'm here on my official position. You, under Idaho law, are required to maintain the morals and health of all the students. How can you do that when, like that little girl came up here and said, and you allow a male to use a female bathroom? You're going to put all of their moral health and safety at risk. And like I told you before, you will face litigation. You called that a threat. I'm telling you, that is what will happen. It's already happened in several states, and there's already been rulings on it. So before you waste taxpayer money, before you put a kid in harm's way, you better throw this policy out and not even consider. I've got the floor. Ms. Pacino, will you please listen to me?
Sir,
Yeah, you claim you want people to follow the rules, but you break the rules left and right. Last month, you allowed 2 people
All
to
right,
speak.
we will
without
recess
being
this
on the
meeting
list.
right now.
You do not get to demand to follow the rules, break them yourself.
We will recess for 15 minutes. I'm sorry, we have asked, you absolutely know the protocol.
You're not following protocol yourself.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Your people are speaking. He still has 37 minutes left.
A second.
Okay, we have a second.
Real
All those
fast,
in
I'm going to
favor,
quote
please
section
say aye.
74201, the people of the state of Idaho and creating the instruments of
Yes,
their
I will
government
ask
that serve them do not yield the sovereignty
Sir,
to the agencies so
I'm gonna
created.
call vote.
This is who you listen to.
Okay, can you turn him off? Okay, so I would like to call vote.
can
All those
talk
in
loud,
favor,
but that
please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, meeting has been adjourned. Meeting is adjourned.
You shouldn't be around children. You shouldn't. You should be hiding out in the red shirts while the men can follow you in there. We are going to come down. Fake news, to the senator. Boo! Boo on all of you! This is absurd! Boo! Who are you to say you get to adjourn this meeting? Coward! Who are you? Coward! Judgment Day, I get it. You're the last